Today we're testing a 22 Grand Cherokee Limited. Man, it drives so nice. I never drove a Jeep before. So super nice. Look at the wheels. This is like should be a pretty expensive package. So it's 4x4. Basically I went to a rental company, and because I'm heading over there. Where's the mountains? I'm heading to Victoria, BC, and in BC it's law that until April 30th you still need to have winter tires, and they're not like studded or anything, just they rated for winter. They're supposed to have like a flake somewhere there, but that's what they're looking for. So a full 4-door Limited. Where's the button? Okay, there's no buttons here. So you have to open 4x4, of course. Everything is leather. So I looked at the climate controls in the back, speakers. I looked at the manufacturing date, and it says manufactured by FCA US, date of manufacture March 22. Doesn't say where. Not sure where they build these, but so it has I just wanted to show you guys the trunk. Oh yeah, it has this I like this feature. Oh yeah, decent size trunk with speakers, spare tire, good to know. And I think, yeah, those you can fold them down. Like if I was going to public land, I can put lots of stuff in here. Oh, it even has a cigarette lighter adapter there for charging. Interesting. So you can put your, like if you have like a spare phone, you can put in there. So of course windshield wiper on the rear window, modern antennas. Do we have a cap? No. I think you have to push a button somewhere here to open over here. You push that and this opens. Otherwise, oh, I like that capless. That's much less mess. I had that on my Mustang. By the way, when I was renting it, I asked him for I wanted a comfortable car because it's a long drive, and now the prices are down again, like they're up and down on these rentals. So what do we have here? Oh man, it felt like it was a super powerful V8, but it's actually V6. So it's a V6 engine. And I checked on the like average mileage. Oh, I like the headlights. Headlights are pretty cool. See, they have LED, so all LED headlights with fog lights, and they have these sensors. So it probably has, oh yeah, so it has adaptive cruise control. I'm gonna try using that. Okay, hold on, let me just take off my jacket. So yeah, I decided to go to Victoria. The goal is to buy a good used accordion. And I cannot find anything here. And as you might know, I have a Hellcat. I'm about to make $1 million on when reselling. Kidding. Maybe just half kidding. And so I don't want to put mileage on my 22 Hellcat. And it's about 1100 clicks or 650 miles or something that way, where the mountains are. So that's where BC is. And I'm gonna cross the mountains and then I'm gonna spend the night in, I already booked a hotel. I'm gonna spend the night in Chilliwack. Yeah, see, it's all electric, leather, all the controls, of course, remote mirrors, you know, your memory seats, I'm guessing. And it's a 4x4. And check this out. You see, like here, interesting controls over here. Of course, your automatic transmission, standard, you know, Chrysler setup here. I feel very familiar. It's the same as in my Dodge, except oh, it has echo. Okay, I'm gonna start and have sport mode, echo. But here you see it was in auto when I started. Hold on. Yeah, so the steering wheel says Jeep, so we have your standard cruise control thing here. Yeah, that's the adaptive cruise control. And of course, you can use your phone, and that's what the odometer looks like. Actually, it's like 40,000 kilometers or 25,000 miles. Like from March until now, you see, I did this. I don't want metric because I don't like bars for tire pressure, right? Because, you know, and then if you change to, yeah, see, I wanted to see PSI because that's what I'm used to. And so you can easily do it over there, and you can, of course, you can change your audio. You can do like the equalizer here. Somebody already did this, so I always like, you know, maximum bass and then slightly lower medium. Actually, I did this. I think before it was like this. Somebody wanted medium, but I don't like that. And high here. And what else we have here? Let's see what kind of apps we have. Oh yeah, you see, that's the big difference, because it's a V6, it's missing SRT pages. Oh, it has off-road pages, but it doesn't give you any media, climate control, setting, phone, navigation. So basically you don't have any control here over your engine or transmission or steering wheel, right? That's the big difference with V8 or with Hellcat. And even when I had the Dodge Charger 5.7, you have those RCT, or no, they call them performance pages, right? But still, there you can choose your transmission, you know, what do you want, what kind of feel you want from your transmission, from your steering wheel. Like here, there's nothing to choose, so the only options are here, right? So echo off and sport on, and I don't want to do that. I'm gonna drive in echo because it felt pretty good, actually. And so media, yeah, it has satellite radio, everything I'm used to. Beautiful. I'm gonna listen to some news. I can listen to music while driving. Even has navigation, but I'm gonna use my own navigation. So this was when I asked for 20 bucks. I asked for a full size, no, standard car was $25, and full size car, like what they call full size, which is actually probably like standard, because they always what they call small, it's super small. What they call full, it's actually standard. And what they call standard, it's like a mini car, right? So I said I want full size car, and it was 30 bucks Canadian a day. So I'm renting this till Thursday. So Thursday I'm gonna be back, because I want to spend maybe a day over there. I never been to Victoria, BC. It's beautiful, you know, it's island, right? So you can explore the coastline. I'm bringing my camera with me, so it's going to be a cool road trip. But so when I went in to check to get the car, I said, guys, I need winter tires because I'm going into BC. I need winter tires and I need unlimited mileage. And they said, no problem, we'll give you an SUV. I said, what kind of SUV? He says it's a 22 Ford Explorer. I'm like, okay. And then he started looking for paperwork. He says, oh, actually that one is due for oil change. I'll give you a Jeep Cherokee. I'm like, oh man, cool. I'm not that big of a fan, as you might know, of Ford vehicles, but I'm a big Chrysler fan, because when I had that Ford Mustang V6, everybody was laughing at me, right? So they stopped laughing when I bought Challenger 6.4
liter with 485 horsepower. Everybody shut up. So now I have a Hellcat, of course, you know, Chrysler product with 717 horsepower, and it feels pretty good. So go Chrysler. Okay, actually I don't like this. So I want speed in kilometers per hour, I want distance in kilometers, I want fuel consumption in liters, I want pressure in PSI, and I want temperature in C. Oh, yeah, so now we're good. See, this is beautiful. Okay, let's go. So I just want to show you guys how it feels driving it, and then maybe I'll do a separate video for the trip itself. Or maybe I'll just keep shooting as one video. Got some coffee at the airport. What's going on here? But yeah,
meters, turn right on Stonehill Drive northeast.
But this V6, you know, feels pretty solid. I don't know, I'm guessing, you know, it's all about the axle ratio, right? You can have a small, like,
turn right. Turn right.
When I had a Mack truck, right, I got it with what, 395 axle ratio, that Mack truck, but it was a 13-liter engine, and I was hauling heavy loads, and so I think it was 395.
Turn right onto Country Hills Boulevard.
I mean, wait,
northeast,
like,
then use the right lane to take the Alberta 2 North ramp.
Or maybe 390. I don't remember, but I remember that I paid 4,000 bucks to change it to 410. I remember that. And so with 410, that Mack truck was pulling pretty good, even though it has it only had 505 horsepower. And so you can get a V6 engine, what I'm trying to say, right? You just put a slightly bigger, slightly slower, like high numeric number.
Use the right lane to take the Alberta 2 North ramp.
Axle ratio, and you should be good.
Continue for 800 meters.
Yeah, this one just drives like very quiet, of course, you know, as a regular car. And so we're just taking Highway 2 North to the bypass 201, and then we're taking 201 West, and then I think we're taking either 1 or 1.
400 meters, merge onto Highway 2 North, Alberta 2 North.
Or 1A. And this one, of course, did you hear that when I stopped at before entering the highway, the engine shut down. I don't like that. I think you can turn it off somewhere.
Alberta 2 North for 1 kilometer.
But yeah, very comfortable seats over here, and everything is.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 271 for Alberta 201 West Stony Trail.
And everything is electric, very comfortable. And of course, you know, when you go cheap on a car, and you know, like I'm almost 6 feet tall.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 271, then keep left at the fork.
I really need this telescopic steering wheel, because I always pull it out pretty much all the way.
Keep left at the fork.
You know, like the only way they did it here is they went cheap, and it's not electric, like the telescoping action, but it's manual. There's a lever here.
For 2 kilometers.
And like I probably should lower it down a little bit, but as long as I can see my speed. Okay, so now we're taking 201. Yeah, this is a very solid vehicle. The weather today is good, but it's still only +3 Celsius. What is it, like 35, 36 F? A bit chilly, so I brought my coat. And yeah, I have 2 guys just to, you know, touch briefly upon the purpose of this monster road trip is that, like I said, I don't want to put miles on my car. I checked air tickets. They're like $500. Right, was this rental $20? And okay, I paid.
In 500 meters, keep left at the fork. Follow signs for Alberta 201 West, Stony Trail.
I paid extra for windshield protection because it's very expensive if you have a, you know, somebody hits you.
Keep left at the fork.
Right, and so they all charge differently. These guys charge $13, so the rental is cheap.
Continue on Alberta 201 West for 22 kilometers.
So the rental is cheap, $20 a day. So I did $13. Of course, it's all Canadian for windshield protection. So if I come back and there's any kinds of damage, which is quite possible here, because there's in winter they use lots of, you know, small stones like gravel mixed with salt, and I'm going through the mountains. Like I might see snow, you know, still over there, I'm pretty sure. And so yeah, so I was looking on Facebook for this, you know, I really want to start learning. I have a couple of books coming, like Teach Yourself, you know, how to play. And I found a website where the guy provides video lessons. I really want to start learning. I don't want to play my button accordion. It was my dream when I was a 9-year-old kid. I always wanted a German piano accordion. But I mentioned this before, my mom and my dad, they couldn't afford it. They were very expensive, so they bought me a Russian, what was it called? Timbre. It was a bayan, you know, like a button accordion with no musette, no tremolo. It was like flat, you know, classical sound. I hated that one. So after 1 year, I quit. So now I know pretty much what I'm looking for. How many bass notes, how many treble notes. I'm looking for a musette accordion, like French, Italian style, you know, with that little vibrato, as they call it, vibrato, tremolo, musette, you know. I love that sound. And so there's a guy in Oliver, BC, who's selling a Roland FR1X, which brand new cost 4,000 Canadian. He's selling it for 2,200, and he says 3 months old. And that's kind of like made me suspicious, you know. So I texted the guy through Messenger on Facebook. I said, can you tell me like the story with this accordion? Why are you selling? And the guy said, well, I bought it online for $3,000, which actually plausible. Somebody was selling. But again, if brand new is 4,000, why are you selling, let's say, like you said, three months old accordion for 3,000? If it's 3 months old, probably you should sell it for like 3,500, right? Like take $500 off. But it's probably not easy to sell them, so I'm not sure where he got it. But he also says he's 84 years old, and he has a big accordion which is too heavy for him, so he tried this one, and now he wants something slightly bigger. And that's the very interesting comment, because the problem with this Roland FR1X is that it only has 26 treble keys, right? It's very short, so it's really for professional, you know, musicians who know what they're doing, who know how to change octaves. There's a couple of buttons you can, but it's like not that easy. It's not like one flip of a switch, like if you want to go higher or lower, right? And so professional musicians, they will know how to use this accordion as if it has, you know, 34 or 37 or 41 treble keys. But I'm not a professional, right? I'm basically have to start from scratch, because now I'll be relearning all the notes from on the piano accordion compared to the button accordion. And so I don't want to buy this. I wanted to get this MIDI accordion because of all those orchestra sounds, but I just decided to do what I wanted to do when I was 9 years old and get like a solid piano accordion. And why I'm driving so far is because that's the there's nothing here. There's a couple of stores we have, of course, here, like big music stores, but they have like 2 accordions in stock, right? Whereas this guy, where I'm going, he claims he has 600 accordions, and they are technicians. They repair them. Basically, they buy them somewhere cheap, they fix them up. So at least, oh, and then you get warranty. You get 3-year warranty, and they allow you to do a trade up. He says if you come back after like a year or 2 years, we'll take this accordion back and we'll give you credit to buy, you know, something bigger and better, you know. So which is pretty cool. And of course he says they can do shipping for 50 bucks, but I want to see what I'm buying first, right? I want to play it, see how it sounds, you know. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. So I'll be gone. So Monday, like that, their store is closed on Sunday, and that's why I'm driving today. So tonight, like today, I have to do almost 900 clicks, but I think it's possible since, you know, I left my logbook at home, and this Jeep, I forgot to check, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have any e-logs, right? So I can drive 20 hours a day if I want to. But I'm not gonna drive too fast because, you know, it's a long way, so I want to preserve gas. Oh, and by the way, this one uses 87 gas, which is a big slight, you know, relief compared to my Hellcat, where I have to use 91, or usually I use 93. Last time I used 93, it was $1.76 a liter Canadian. $1.76. But I did that because 91 was $1.70, like only 6 cents difference. Okay, we're gonna start is the cruise control on? Oh yeah, it's on the right there at the bottom, very small numbers. So I set the cruise control 5 clicks above the speed limit. So the temperature inside is comfortable, 20.5 Celsius. Of course, automatic climate control. And I don't have the music on because, you know, it's copyright issues. Now, this who should be getting tickets. Like, look at this guy. If I'm doing 105, what do you think he's doing? As a former trucker, I can estimate the speed or terminal velocity at 130 clicks an hour. Which reminds me, I really should get a radar detector on my Hellcat. But the good ones are like 500 bucks, you know? So anyway, how far are we going here? I think we're going for I think it's sending me to Highway 1 or 1A. So basically now we're driving west and south around, this is a bypass around Calgary, and then we're gonna take, I'm pretty sure, Highway 1, and then Highway 1 would become like this in the mountains. But so yeah, that's what it feels like driving a Jeep Cherokee. So of course, you know, everything is automatic. I'm not touching the drive modes there. It's all, you know, auto. But if I get into a situation like snow or dirt, I can just, if I don't like auto, I can move that knob over here and I can change to sand and snow. And the steering wheel is very comfortable. Of course, it's all leather, nice diameter. I like it. So like I said, my first time driving a Jeep. So this is pretty cool. And so yeah, this guy has a bunch of accordions and he's nice. I checked his website. It's too bad. I asked him, I said, can I see pictures? And he said, well, it's not possible. We have so many accordions. So he just has some generic pictures, you know, like, which is funny. but he says we have too many of them. It would take too much time, you know, updating the database. I don't understand that, but he says we have 600 accordions, anywhere from $300 to, you know, $20,000. So I don't know. So I have $400 cash, $400 of cash, and then I can go to the bank and get. So my budget, I'm thinking, is somewhere around $1,500. That's all I want to spend, and then in a couple of years, if I want something better, I'll drive back and I'll trade up for something better, you know. But like I said, that accordion books are coming. Got a few on Walmart. They're coming, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. So of course I'm not gonna be there. So, and it's coming by UPS. So they're gonna leave me a notification ticket, and then I'll go and pick it up somewhere at the UPS customer service. And speaking about work, so I had an excavator. A guy asked me for a quote, right? I had that excavator from Georgia to Northern Ontario and couldn't find anybody reasonable. Everybody wanted a lot of money, and so the customer did not like my quote. And the way this guy operates, like, there's no response. You know, if he likes your quote, he will say, okay, so when can you pick up? But
3 kilometers, take exit 36 toward Trans-Canada Highway, Alberta 1 West.
But when he doesn't like it, there's silence, which I'm not quite like. Look at this guy. He was all over the lines. Gotta be careful with people like that. And so of course this car has blind spot detection, which I'm now used to thanks to my Hellcat. Okay, gotta turn off cruise control because the speed limit here is 80 or 50 miles an hour. It's a construction zone. And this has been going on, I don't know, 10 years, 5. So by the way, when they gave me the keys, and I wanted to stop at Starbucks, but I was anxious to get going because it's you know, a pretty long trip. And I remembered that the arrival level at the airport has a pretty nice coffee shop. So I go there. There's a beautiful Chinese girl, and she says, so what would you like, sir? And I said, yeah, I'll just take, you know, Americano, upside down, large. And she was looking at me, upside down. I said, well, just, you know, water first. And she says, well, that's how.
600 meters, take exit 36 toward Trans-Canada Highway, Alberta 1 West.
She says, we always do it like that. Well, I said, that's what they call it at Starbucks. I said, they have a button on the register. When you tell them upside down, they put water first. And she says, if you don't tell them, how they make it? I said, well, if you don't tell them, they will put espresso shots at the bottom.
Take exit 36.
And she was just kind of like, you know, not happy about that. Like, I'm guessing she did not know that Starbucks.
Continue for 1 kilometer.
Because yeah, it tastes much better. It tastes much better when you pour espresso shots on top of water, not the other way around. And it looks way better. You have that crema, you know. And so why I'm telling you this long-winded story is that she turns the tablet. It's like, you know, a lot of these guys now have a big tablet instead of a, you know, before they used a special computer, right, for the registry to record transactions. Now a lot of them just have a tablet.
In 500 meters, keep left to continue toward Trans-Canada Highway, Alberta 1 West.
Yeah, with the software, right? And so she turns that tablet towards me, and it's all touch, and I see it says, of course I give her a tip, and then the final number, it says
Keep left.
$6.15 for a cup of coffee. Of course, it's Canadian.
175 kilometers.
So it's Canadian, so it's not real dollars, but still it a bit, you know, hurts a bit. So I said, $6, are you sure? She says, yeah, I know it's a bit pricey. Yeah, you're right. It's not a bit pricey. But this at Starbucks would be $5. Well, I think this is not venti. I think this is grande. Actually, yeah, this will be $4 at Starbucks. But if you take venti, like the largest one, that one is $4.80 plus tax. Like, I love it. You gotta love it when people in the middle lane. Oh, wait a second. It's still 80 kilometers an hour. Okay, my bad. But there's no construction. Come on. There's no construction. So I'm bringing my laptop with me. I'm bringing my very important to remember, the cables. Okay, resume. The cables and the adapter to transfer the files to my computer. A couple of times I went somewhere and I did a video and I forgot those little essentials, you know, and without them it's not easy to like, how do you transfer the files from the GoPro, that's what I'm using now, to your computer. I think we're losing this lane. Okay, roger that. But I did this a few times. If you remember my trucking videos, it's very difficult in a truck because the hills are just unbelievable. And also, if you drive a truck, they don't allow you to go this way, believe it or not. You cannot use Highway 1. Okay, speed limit is 110. So let's do at least the speed limit. Mr. Lexus, come on! Okay, cruise control 108, 109, so I'm pushing the stop button here. 110. 110, so like here, you know, they're very strict. I mentioned this before, they're very strict about speed limits, but 5 kilometers, unless you really run into a cop that is having some family problems that didn't get any overnight, if you know what I'm talking about, and he has something up his, you know what I'm talking about, he'll give you a ticket for a kilometer over, right? Or he'll just stop you, oh, your tail light is out, and just, no, I'm joking. They show this in the movies, you know, like a bad cop stops, they want to stop you, they pull you over and they say your tail light is out, when you know that everything is perfectly fun and, you know, nice, and then he takes his telescopic baton and smashes his light. Well, your tail light is out now. Okay. By the way, I like the mirrors on this thing. The mirrors are huge, very good visibility. That's one thing that I really wish they would do on a Hellcat. But again, the Hellcat, it's you know, it's supposed to be like a sports car, right? So the mirrors are just regular Challenger mirrors, so they're much smaller, but they're really aerodynamic. They're kind of like a drop. They shaped like a drop of water facing forward, like a regular, you know, car. But these ones, they're more like a truck. Like, I really love big mirrors on, you know, like F-150 or Dodge Ram. Very safe, you know, you see everything. And of course this thing has a rear view camera, so when you're backing, and man, I love these mountains, you know. Like, many times I thought that it's funny how when I was trucking, right, and I was thinking, like where do I want to live when I retire? Let's say I retire from trucking, right? And you know, they say best climate for Capricorns, you need fresh air, and you want to live somewhere near mountains. And I never liked Alberta before, because mostly I was going to Edmonton, which I still don't like. It's like industrial area, you know, factories everywhere, especially in winter, lots of dirt, debris. Calgary is totally different. Calgary feels like a capital city, even though Edmonton is the capital. But I love this. And so I was thinking of maybe, since Canadians are allowed, we can buy property in US. You can buy like a house, apartment, but you cannot work. Like a property does not give you the green card, right? And so you still have to get out after 6 months, because we don't need a visa, right? So I can just go into Montana and buy a house, let's say, if I wanted to, you know, and I can sit there for six months, and then I have to come back for at least a couple of days, because if I don't do that, US will kick me out, because that's their rules for Canadians, and I would lose my health coverage in Canada, because Canadian rules are, if you are outside of Canada for more than 6 months, you become a non-resident. And that's fine, you still have your Canadian passport, you're still a citizen, but you lose your free health care, you know, well, if they catch you, right? And so you don't want to do that. And so I was thinking Montana, but because that's, you know, my favorite state in the summer. Why? Because it has beautiful scenery, beautiful mountains, probably Wyoming, but I don't know. But you know, like something like, and then when I was doing that road trip across the US, like that 3,000 kilometer, 2,200 mile road trip in my Charger from Buffalo, New York to Kalispell, Montana, and I talked to my friend who lives in Nisku, right, the one I visited recently, and he says, why don't you move to Alberta? And I started thinking about this, and come on, I just flashed my lights at the guy because he's trying to pass and he's pretty slow, so I had to cancel my cruise control, and he's passing like a 1968, correction, 1975 5-ton truck. This looks like a Russian truck. What is this? Top Kick. Oh, it's a GMC Top Kick. Okay, maybe not 1975, maybe 1982. I drove a truck like that when I started as a driver, when I couldn't make any money in life insurance. My first major job in Canada in '97. So I started. No, first I drove a courier van. Like it was a Dodge Ram. My first experience with Ram vehicles. Very nice, you know, cargo van, like a small one. And then I went to work for a towing company. You know, hauling a 5 tilt and load. Oh, I know this one. This truck stop, I spent some time here when I was a trucker. So this is a Petro Pass, right? So just west of Calgary. And there's a scale in here, but it's all temporary. But they do have a scale actually over there. So if there's a police officer, he can open that little. He can open that box there and activate the scale. Okay, Banff 96. And you see, that's why. So I was thinking about Montana, right? But then my friend says, why don't you move to Alberta? He says, you like mountains, you like doing photography, scenery, wildlife. He says, for you, he says, I recommend Calgary. because see, band of 96 kilometers, 60 miles, you know. So I live pretty much like same as Montana. I don't know if you can see these mountains over there, but I love it. So in the air is here better, I think, than in the rest of the country because of this. So the only downside of living in Calgary is this crazy wind, Chinook, that brings constant variations in daily temperatures. You know, especially in winter, you can wake up at +3 Celsius and then it goes to -20. You know, it's especially if you're old and you have some ailments, it cannot be easy on the body, you know, like these. But it's dry air, right? So even when it's really cold, it's easy to take it because there's no major like rivers or oceans nearby, right? It's all good. It's kind of like, feels kind of like, you know, Texas, but of course colder, maybe like northern Oklahoma, you know, or of course northern Montana, somewhere there. And so yeah, yesterday I sold my Swans. I sold my Z50 camera. Two young guys showed up. Actually, I wanted to keep that one because actually I like that small camera. I wanted to sell my big one, Z9. So they're both listed if someone's interested online, on Facebook. But the guy texts me, he says, we're interested in your Z50. Or actually, that's how you know it's not a V8. Because you see my cruise control is at 110, so 68 miles per hour. And it's upshifts on hills. So not enough power. The suspension is so smooth. I like it. So anyway, they show up and they say, can you do any better on price? I said, guys, come on. This camera was $1,200 Canadian, just the body, and I paid $99 for the extra battery. So I paid $1,300. So now that camera is on sale for $999 Canadian. So it went down by $200, but I still have that extra battery, and I gave them a bag, like a pretty almost new camera bag that I think I paid like $50 for, and so they gave me $700 Canadian. And when the guy tried to get like $650, I said, guys, like, you know, be reasonable. You're saving. If you were buying this brand new, so you would pay $999 for the camera plus $99 for the battery, so $1,100 plus $50 for the bag, so $1,150. You're buying this off me for $700, so you're saving $450. I think that's pretty reasonable for a 2-month-old camera, you know. So of course I lost money on this, you know. I shouldn't have bought it, but once you pass that 30-day, you know, return, what do you do? And that's what, so, oh yeah, and so they checked the camera, and by the way, they were also immigrants from, I asked them where they're from, because they looked like they were from Eastern Europe. They said they're from, I think he said Algiers. What is it, like Northern Africa? And one of them was, you know, spoke perfect English with a slight accent, kind of like mine, and the other guy was always switching to their own language. But he was the photographer because he was checking the camera. He brought his own lens. But nice guys. And then he says, okay, email transfer, okay? And I'm holy moly. So we're gonna be sitting here for half an hour, because you know that the problem with the email transfer is that I said I cannot give you the camera until I see the confirmation on my email from the bank, because I have automatic deposit. And so he gives me his phone. I type, because of course it's easier for me to spell. I type my email address for the email Interact transfer, and he sends me 700 bucks. And I keep refreshing my screen. So 5 minutes, nothing. 10 minutes, nothing. 15 minutes, nothing. And it's getting chilly, because it was like almost 7 o'clock at night. And I said, okay guys, I trust you, because I look, you know, they look like honest guys. And because we were talking while we were doing this, we talked about my Hellcat. They were interested in, you know, I told them about public land, what you can do on public land, if you know what I mean. So very nice guys. And so I gave him my business card. I said, okay, I trust you guys. I should probably see it in another 20 minutes. I don't want to stand here because he shows me the confirmation. Like on his end, he has an app from his bank. It says email transfer $700 to Sergei Dratchev. You know, and you cannot cancel it. Once you send, you cannot cancel. Well, I think you can during like the first 5 minutes, but after that, you cannot cancel. And so I took some risk, drove back home, and then started my big computer, my monster iMac. And the first thing I see when I open my email, I see I have one new email. I click on that. It says Interact transfer of $700 was just automatically deposited in your bank. Sender, this guy. And then they call me, because I gave him well, he knows my phone number because we were texting each other to confirm the location. He actually calls me and he says, Sergey, did you get the money? I said, yes, sir. Thank you very much. So, like I said, nice guys, you know. But then, of course, if you remember, the first meeting was a total fiasco when that guy, Chinese guy Cliff, showed up, and he didn't buy it, right? I wasted time, and he was looking at the lens with a flashlight for 20 minutes. Like this guy, I showed him the camera, he attached the lens, he checked it, you know, I said, guys, no marks, no scratches, everything is good. He took a few sample shots, and I said, when they were asking me about, you know, a discount, I said, okay, I cannot sell it to you for $650 because that's $700 is already too cheap. But I said, what I'll do is I'll throw in 128 gig SD card. How is that? Because I said this would be like $35–40 if you buy brand new. And they said, oh great, thank you. So I gave them the SD card, one of my older ones, but you know, it's like Lexus professional high quality SD card. That's the same one I used on that camera. So they were happy, I was happy. So now I have money, so I'm gonna use this money for the Accordion. And then the drone, right? I sold the drone for 400 bucks to that Indian guy. So I have like $1,100 that I made in the past day. And so that's what we're doing. Now, one way to tell if the vehicle has a V8 or V6 is, if you guys might know, the bigger the engine, the lower are the RPM. Like my truck, for example, the 15-liter engine with 605 horsepower, the semi-truck, I was typically around, what, like 1320, 1330 RPM at 60 miles an hour. But that's a truck, that's different. But in a car, so now I changed my cruise to pretty much exactly 70 miles an hour, 112 clicks an hour. And the RPM shows is like 1900. Somewhere there, 1930, 1950. So if this was my Hellcat, what would it be? I don't remember, but I think on the, oh yeah, when I was doing like 90 kilometers an hour, it was just above, like, you know, 1500 RPM. But I think, no, yeah, like the Hellcat is different because it has a supercharger, but I know normally when I had a Ford F-150, like 5 liter, it would be less. The RPM at this speed would be less, right? But I think when I had a Mazda, I had a 2 liter and 2.5 liter Mazda. I think at 120 it was doing about 3,000 RPM. So 75 miles per hour was 3,000. So if this was Mazda, probably now it would be like 2,500 RPM, because Mazda has a much smaller engine than this. So the smaller the engine, the higher the RPM, but the better the fuel economy. And I mentioned that if you have an oversized load, they don't allow you to go this way. So you like, if I was, you know, let's say if I'm a trucker and I pick up a load in Calgary and I'm moving, let's say, some kind of an excavator to Vancouver, I cannot go this way, even though Highway 1 is the shortest distance, because we are like US is that way, behind the mountains. So we're pretty much driving parallel to US border, right? But if you have an oversized load and you pick up in Calgary going to Vancouver, they wanted to go north 3.5 hours to Edmonton, and then go west on that highway. What is it, like 16? So you cannot go on Highway 1. And so it's been really a while since I've been here, because most of the time when I was a trucker, I had oversized loads. So I was crossing the mountains over there near Edmonton. And I remember this place, you know, when I was a new trucker with little experience, it was a bit scary, because you get into spots in there, like, you know, there's mountains all around you, there's, you know, like gloomy sky. And I remember sitting at a truck stop somewhere there. Man, it can be scary. And then they have these, you know, turns, like 40 kilometers an hour turn. That's why they don't want vehicles with multiple axles and oversized loads here, because the road, it's okay for a car or for a pickup truck or a dry van. That's why, like, I see dry van trucks, no problem, right? Or like a flatbed. If somebody just has a regular, I don't know, sheets of steel or pipe, right, or bricks, they can go this way. But not with an excavator, not with a dozer. Or what else was I moving? Like a pipe layer? Yeah, I was moving a big pipe layer. What was it? Last winter? 2 winters ago? Man, that was like the truck has this much ice in the trailer. Yeah, not mostly mostly the trailer. The trailer had like over an inch of ice and dirt all over the frame. So that's it. We're approaching the mountains, as you can probably tell. But the speed limit is still 110 clicks an hour. But do I have a spare battery? Because I want to show you guys this. Like the... Actually, wait a second. So I did a video here when I went to Lake Louise. Did I take this one? Yeah, I think I took this road. Yeah, I took Highway 1. Okay, so I did drive here. Yeah, I think it was last year when I came here in a truck. And my Nisku friend says, you know, you're sitting here for the weekend, why don't you rent a car and go to Banff for something? You know, you can do some photography, maybe, you know, do some hiking. And so that's what I did. And I went to Lake Louise. Somehow I didn't get eaten by a bear, so all was good. So yeah, it's the same road. But now I feel so much better because this is a 4x4 with winter tires, a super comfortable truck or SUV. Okay, so they allow these guys double, what they're like, some agricultural trailers. Yeah, Jasper. You see on the right, they start with this advertising here. Jasper, like the scenery here is unbelievable. Like lakes, mountains, forests. Love it. I'm so happy I moved here, honestly. The only thing I miss about Ontario is slightly better weather. You know, especially there where I was near Toronto in Cambridge. It's slightly warmer than here in the summer, in winter, but I think they get more snow because of the lake effect, right? Because over there's a bunch of lakes all around. Well, I just passed the gate. It says Banff Park, and it's funny how you're on Highway 1 and all of a sudden it says, you know, if you have an annual pass, go here. If you don't have a pass, go here. And the speed limit drops to 70 clicks an hour, then 50, and then there's a stop sign right on the freeway. And we have, and you know, there's attendants in a booth, kind of like toll, right? And I open the window and she looks at me, some young woman, and she says, hello, bonjour, you know, you are in avalanche country. And so I said, how much do I owe you? And she was a bit surprised by the question because, of course, most locals, they know. And she says, are you going into the park? Because this is Banff, right? Are you going into the park? I said, no, I'm just driving to BC. And she said, well, if you're not stopping for the next 2 hours, you don't have to pay. I like this, you know, kind of like honor system, right? But I'm really not stopping. Like, the time now is 10 o'clock. I better get out of the left lane because the speed limit here is 90 clicks an hour. So I started driving, what, like 8:20, 8:30, so I want to stop at noon, 12, grab some lunch somewhere at the gas station, and so that's 2 hours away. So yeah, I'm not gonna stop anywhere. So I did not even know this. I thought everybody had to pay. No, if you don't go inside the park, if you're just driving through, but you still have to, you know, stop over there, right, to get the okay. But it's interesting how they did this, that the kind of like major freeway, and then all of a sudden you have these toll booths and you have to stop, come to complete stop. Well, that guy has a British Columbia plate, and the difference is that British Columbia, they have blue lettering, like the words on the plate are blue, whereas Alberta, we have red plates. And I was not a big fan of Alberta plates at first because they look so loud, you know, because in Ontario, where I used to live for the past, I don't know, 17 years, no, more than that, from 97, our plates are blue, but it's like a dark blue color, whereas British Columbia, it's bright blue. But here, like this guy over here, Nissan, what is it? Nissan Juke? Did I see it correctly? Juke. Yeah, so this one has a red letters on the plate, Alberta. And so now, yeah, we're gonna be in some interesting waters over here. And I already passed a bunch of signs that says wildlife on the highway. Like there'll be a point somewhere here. I think the speed limit will be like 70 clicks an hour, because they often have those mountain goats or rams, you know, crossing the road. So I'm gonna start the camera again if I see some interesting wildlife, and then I might stop if I see some. Well, actually I cannot stop for the next 2 hours, but if I see some interesting landscape or scenery that I can grab with my Z9, why not, right? To Highway 93. I think last time it says Jasper, a Rocky Mountain House, but no through trucking on Highway 93. But I'm pretty sure I drove over there, and so I'm just a few kilometers west of Lake Louise, where I also visited I think last year. And now I think I'll be entering Jasper National Park. Just as I suspected, there's a lot of snow on the ground. Like there's a river there, right? And I wanted to stop and take a picture, but all the let's see over there. All the banks are covered in snow. You know, and that's not the kind of picture you want to take in April, end of April, right? So I don't want to see snow in the picture. But like mountains, I definitely see like the top of mountains because of the elevation here. So even though it's +4 Celsius, or what is it, like 35 F, 36, the snow does not melt. So basically I'm driving in a valley between the mountains, and now I think somewhere here we're gonna see the BC sign, welcome to BC. But a beautiful day for driving, you know, not too hot, not too cold. I have my cruise control on, you know. It's a real relaxing road trip. And on the right says British Columbia. All of a sudden. So as soon as you're west of Banff, that's it. That's BC. And let's see. I think the speed limit here should be higher. So we are east of Golden, which is Golden, BC, 73 kilometers. And they had a sign that said vehicle impoundment for excessive speed. But I don't think 10 clicks over is excessive, especially when people pass me at 150 clicks an hour. Look at these guys. If I do 100, that's 125, 130. 120, 125. I just stay at respectable 10 clicks over. So, but I know that once I get south, closer to US border, I think the speed limit will be like 110, 115, or even maybe 120. Somebody told me they increased the speed limit, but sorry about that. But I still have a long way to go, man. I'm still 680 clicks away from my hotel in Chilliwack, BC. So now look at this guy. I was driving past behind him for like half an hour. Then I passed him. He was driving after me, behind me. Now he decided that's it. No more 100 kilometers an hour. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna go into mountains. Like on the right, the sign says brake check. Verification de freineur, you know. So we're in Canada. That's how you know when all signs are in French and English. Because if this was US, right, signs would be in English and Spanish probably. So brake, I think, are we going down? Oh, steep hill ahead. Like there was a sign for trucks, says truck stop here, steep hill ahead. Okay, cruise control off. And for some reason, probably because they had a lot of snow here, like there's no lines. Like there's no lane lines on the ground. Like there's 2 lanes, right? But even the edge lights are gone because they spray so much salt here. Oh, we're losing this lane over here. I think. Oh yeah, so now it's gonna be interesting. Now we're gonna be in the mountains. Oh yeah, it's a downgrade. Okay, cool. It's a 6 kilometers long downgrade. All right. This we're gonna see. Oh yeah, I think this is the part that long time ago, probably like 2006 or something, I went here in my I believe it was either a Volvo, like my first truck as a company driver with Challenger Motor Freight in 2005 was Volvo. Like a nice little truck, you know, actually. It was very nimble with a 60-inch sleeper. I think it was 6 or 7 years old. And then I got a brand new Freightliner Columbia that spent the first 2 months, it probably spent in the shop. Okay, 70 clicks an hour. Spiral tunnels. Well, this is gonna be exciting. Spiral tunnels? Spiral tunnels. Showed my speed, and then the guy behind me is doing 101 clicks an hour. And so construction. Yeah, somewhere here I think we might see wildlife, like those sheep I mentioned. But yeah, here I really don't want to fool around with BC cops. Keep right except to pass. Like, how do I keep right? There's no lane. There's no. See, like I'm already on the shoulder. Okay, it was like a temporary 2-lane, but that guy. And now it's back to 1 lane. Wow, look at that. All right, what do we have? W9 pulling a drive-in. Truck picks up speed like my truck. it's really steep over here. So I don't want to get a ticket. Oh, they even allow double trailers. There's a Freightliner coming up, but it has, what is it? Oh, they're not 53. They are shorter trailers. Okay, we have some parking area over there. Probably there's a bunch of hiking trails here. The river valley on the left. This is called Yoho Valley Road. Okay, and we're back to 90 clicks an hour. Beautiful. So now we can resume our cruise control. Very shallow river, and a big mountain over here. Yeah, this is more like it, right? So we are right next to huge mountains, and I think here over there I see more water, but it's all covered by ice and snow. Well, I just had a quick stop at this A&W. Nice Canadian beef, and I'm in Golden, BC. Oh, and I already see the batteries like yellow color, so the battery is running low. So one grandpa burger, no fries, one bottle of water, 14 bucks. But what do you do? And the way I eat burgers is I remove one half of the bun, so I only had one half of the bun and 3 patties. So that keeps the carbs down and the protein up. Yeah, this is further west from Golden, and the highway became a 2-lane highway, some construction, and the speed limit keeps changing between 90 clicks and 100 an hour. Now I go through the series of tunnels with huge mountains on the left, on the right. And it started raining. One more? Okay. Lots of snow, but it looks very dirty, so very old snow. Okay, I think that's it. Back to 90 clicks an hour. small town. I think it's called Revelstoke. See a gas station, a motel, Frontier Motel. And there's another Chevron, Best Western. And then on the left we have A&W, McDonald's, Starbucks. Son of a gun. But I still have a lot of ground to cover, so from this Revelstoke I'm still 464 clicks away from my hotel. Now look at this, beautiful. And I saw on the map it showed the river. I don't know what it's called, but I see some people over there either fishing or just hiking. Or nice little area for truckers. A flatbed, and guys moving a small excavator. Oh, nice looking red Jeep Wrangler. Never had that one either, so I never had a Jeep either like this one or like that one. I thought they were bad on fuel economy, so now I'm driving and I'm getting 8.8 liters per 100 kilometers. So my Hellcat on the way to Edmonton was doing 12 and a half. So about 30% worse than this. But I was actually, I was driving and thinking how much fun it would be to drive here in the Hellcat. But definitely not now, because right now it can still be like, now it's +4. So like now I'm going into what they call variable speed limit corridor, which means that this should be some really like mountain roads, and it's raining non-stop, like a typical mountain weather. But I'm really glad that I rented the car, because it's like 20 bucks, right? Plus, okay, extra for the windshield protection. But so 4 days it's only $80 Canadian, and I spent 30% less gas than on the Hellcat, right? And I don't want to put miles on the Hellcat because it has a chance of being resold at a profit. So, man, still basically 5 hours to drive, but time now is 1:30 my Calgary time, but actually we are already on Pacific time, so it's 12:30. So I gained 1 hour. But this kind of weather, with the temperature suspiciously low, I don't want to drive. Like I see, cars and pickup trucks up to April 30th must use winter tires. Trucks must carry chains. So that's another reason why I didn't come this time in the Hellcat. It would be like a dream vacation road trip, but I don't have the proper tires. 15 clicks away from my hotel, and I'm not sure how this is possible, but the range still shows 138 clicks, or basically, what is it, like 90 miles. I can still go 90 miles till it's empty. So, and I have not filled up the tank since I left the rental agency in Calgary, which is like 870 kilometers away. I don't know, 500, 40 miles. Like, this Jeep is amazing, Of course, I wasn't driving crazy like 100 miles an hour. I was just sticking to a speed limit. For example, now it's 100 kilometers an hour. Before it was 120. Before that it was 110, 90, and so I'm just doing speed limit maybe +5, and so just watching my average fuel economy. So the average fuel economy for the whole day is 9 liters per 100 kilometers. Just if you wanna know what it's in miles per gallon, just Google it. Liters per 100 kilometers to MPG, right? So for example, current is 6 liters. Like, this is gorgeous, like I like the colors here. I really like this SUV. You would think I would want like a huge engine, but I'm almost doing 900 kilometers on one tank. It's amazing. All right, so I think my battery is about to die. So, oh, Ford Mustang. So I'm gonna do a video when I'm at the hotel, and then I need to book the ferry online. It's bcferries.com, right? Because I'm going on a ferry, so that'll be tomorrow's video. My first time on the ferry. I never been on the ferry, and I never been to Victoria, BC. They say it's beautiful. It's an island, and so I'm gonna buy the Accordion tomorrow, Monday, and then I'm thinking of staying there at the hotel, and then Tuesday until lunchtime I can go on a ride. Like they have highways right next to the water on Victoria Island, and just explore the scenery, and then have lunch, and then after lunch I'll start heading back, because yeah, this is a really long trip. But from my hotel, so now I'm gonna stop exit 119, so 10 kilometers more. It's only like 250 kilometers to the ferry. So I'm gonna get up early tomorrow. I don't know when after the sunrise. Don't want to drive in the dark here, and cross over. And they say you have to be at the ferry like hour for like 30-40 minutes tops before. Cannot be late, otherwise you'll be stuck there for 2 hours waiting for the next one. And so this is it. So I did very good in terms of mileage today. So only stopped 2 times, I think. Yeah, stopped 2 times for coffee and from some lunch. So very happy with my progress so far. So stay tuned. Day number 2 will be tomorrow.